Imagine this. You're having a perfectly normal day when suddenly someone walks into your life and starts pushing all your buttons on purpose. They're rude, they're manipulative, and somehow they always seem to know how to get under your skin. You can feel your blood pressure rising, but you're stuck, unable to escape. Sound familiar? Now, what if I told you that the real secret to handling these difficult people has absolutely nothing to do with changing them? Instead, it's all about how you respond. And no, it's not about keeping quiet or bottling up your feelings. There's a far more powerful way to deal with them, and it's something the ancient Stoics knew all along. In this video, we're about to break down the exact steps you can take to keep your cool, stay in control, and turn these frustrating encounters into opportunities for personal growth. By the end, you'll have the tools to handle even the most challenging personalities without losing your mind. Ready to find out how? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Recognize the trigger. Ever notice how certain people have this uncanny ability to push your buttons? 1 minute you're fine, and the next, you're on the verge of a meltdown. What happened? Recognizing what exactly sets you off is the first step in mastering your reactions. We all have triggers, those little things people do or say that instantly rile us up. Maybe it's a condescending tone, an interruption, or a passive-aggressive comment. But here's the kicker. The trigger itself isn't the problem, it's how you react to it that matters. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that when something or someone challenges your peace, it's an opportunity to become stronger. Take a moment before reacting and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is it anger, frustration, fear? Identifying the emotion gives you power over it. For example, if someone cuts you off in a conversation, instead of snapping back, pause, acknowledge that you're feeling disrespected and breathe. Then decide how you'll respond rather than just react. Recognizing your trigger doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're ready to control your emotions and keep your peace. Start with small moments of awareness, and you'll see how this simple skill can completely change the way you handle difficult people. Chapter 2. Don't take it personally. One of the easiest ways to fall into frustration is by taking someone else's bad behavior as a reflection of your own worth. We've all been there, right? Someone makes a rude comment, and instantly we think, what did I do to deserve that? It's easy to internalize it, but here's the truth. It's not about you. When people act poorly, it's usually more about their issues than yours. They may be projecting their anger, insecurity, or stress, and when you take their behavior personally, you're giving them control over your emotions. Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When we let their actions hit us deeply, we start creating stories in our heads about how we're being wronged, when, in fact, it might have nothing to do with us at all. Take John, for example, He had a colleague who constantly criticized his work. At first, he took it to heart, thinking it meant he wasn't good enough. But then, he realized, this colleague had unresolved issues with his own job performance and was lashing out. Once John stopped personalizing the criticism, he was able to remain calm and focus on improving, without getting caught in an emotional storm. So, the next time someone's rude, remember, it's their issue, not yours. Don't let their actions dictate your worth. Chapter 3. Control your response, not their behavior. Here's a hard truth. You can't control other people. Try as you might. You'll never change their actions or reactions, but you can control your response. This idea is at the core of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." The power lies in what you do with the situation, not in how the person behaves. Let's say you're stuck in a meeting with a difficult person. Who's dominating the conversation? You can't make them stop, but you can control how you react. Will you give in to frustration, or will you remain calm and steer the conversation? Control is about focusing on your own actions, not obsessing over trying to control the unchangeable. Every time you react with patience, understanding, or a level head, you strengthen your ability to handle future challenges. Try it. Choose your response consciously. It's a game changer. Chapter 4. Set boundaries without guilt. One of the most empowering things you can do for yourself is to set clear boundaries. But here's the catch. It's not always easy, especially when dealing with difficult people who have no problem overstepping them. However, setting boundaries is essential for maintaining your mental and emotional health. When you feel overwhelmed or violated, it's okay to say, "Number, that's not acceptable." This doesn't make you mean, it makes you strong. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to focus on what we can control, and we can control the way people treat us by setting limits. Sophia, for example, had a friend who was always calling her late at night, venting about her own problems. It started to take a toll on Sophia's peace and sleep. Finally, she decided to set a boundary. "I can't take calls after 9 p.m. If you need to talk, let me know before then." Her friend was initially taken aback, but over time, Sophia's boundary became respected. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, but trust me, it's liberating. You're not being selfish, you're preserving your energy. Chapter 5. The power of silence. When someone is being difficult, silence can be more powerful than words. I know, it sounds counterintuitive. You want to defend yourself, explain your point, or fight back. But sometimes, saying nothing is the most powerful response. In situations where conflict is rising, silence gives you space to think and cool down. It also prevents you from getting dragged into unnecessary arguments. Think about it. When you stay quiet, you're refusing to engage in their drama. You're taking away their power to provoke you. As the Stoics would say, we are not disturbed by events, but by our judgments about them. Next time someone tries to provoke you, try not to react immediately. Stay calm, breathe, and give yourself time to choose your next move. Silence isn't weakness, it's the strength of control. Chapter 6. Choose your battles wisely. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every argument needs to be won. Sometimes, stepping back is the best choice for your mental peace. The Stoics emphasized focusing on things that are truly within our control. There's a simple question you can ask yourself in any difficult situation. Is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, then don't waste your time. Take Mark, who had a colleague who would always challenge him on trivial matters. At first, Mark would try to win every argument, but then he realized that these battles were draining him for no real gain. He started picking only the important issues to engage with, saving his energy and staying calm. Choosing your battles is about being strategic, not reactive. Fight for what matters, and let the rest slide. What's a recent situation where you thought it wasn't worth it to engage? Let me know in the comments. Chapter 7. Empathy without entanglement. You don't have to be a cold, heartless person just because someone is difficult. In fact, one of the most stoic things you can do is approach these people with empathy. But here's the catch. You can be empathetic without getting emotionally entangled. Empathy allows you to see things from their perspective. Maybe they're having a tough day. Maybe they're just a product of their own struggles. But that doesn't mean you have to dive into their emotional mess. You can acknowledge their pain without letting it drain yours. Imagine you have a friend who is always complaining about their life, yet never takes action to change. It's easy to get caught up in their cycle, but true empathy is being there for them while keeping your own balance. You can listen, offer advice, but avoid carrying their emotional baggage. Empathy without entanglement allows you to remain supportive without losing your own peace of mind. Chapter 8. Let go of expectations. Expectations are a trap. Seriously, the more you expect people to behave a certain way, the more you set yourself up for disappointment. Stoics know this all too well. Instead of expecting the world to meet your standards, they focus on accepting the world as it is, imperfect, unpredictable, and sometimes downright annoying. When you stop expecting others to act the way you want them to, you free yourself from the constant disappointment and frustration. You also gain the freedom to choose how to react to their behavior, instead of feeling victimized by it. Try this next time. Before dealing with a difficult person, lower your expectations. Expect nothing, and you'll be pleasantly surprised when they're decent. Chapter 9. Shift your perspective. Sometimes, difficult people can serve as mirrors, showing us parts of ourselves we don't like. By shifting your perspective, you can view the situation as an opportunity for growth rather than conflict. The Stoics believed that every challenge is a chance to develop virtue. Instead of seeing a difficult person as an enemy, see them as a lesson. What can you learn from this interaction? How can you become more patient, more understanding, or more resilient? Shifting your perspective is about turning a negative into a positive. It's about seeing every interaction as an opportunity to practice Stoic virtues, to grow stronger, and to maintain your peace. What's a moment where changing your perspective helped you? Let's hear your stories in the comments. Conclusion: congratulations. You've now gained a powerful toolkit for dealing with difficult people. Remember, it's not about changing them, but about leveling up your emotional game and taking back control. When you stop letting others mess with your peace, that's when you start living like a true Stoic, calm, collected, and in charge. Now, here's the challenge. Which tip are you going to try first? Drop it in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how to live with clarity and control. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to remain calm in its presence.